I've been using a Pixel 9 for 3 days now, and this phone has surprised me more than any other Pixel phone that I've owned. I love this new design choice that Google did with the Pixel 9. It's something that I definitely appreciate, and I love this new camera design. I like it much better than the previous Pixel camera bars, and I kind of think it adds to this more aggressive character. In fact, I think this whole phone just looks more aggressive than, compared to the Pixel 8 Pro because of its kind of a more boxy design. I mean, maybe not looks aggressive with this color, the peony or the peony, whichever it is.
Peony.
Peony. Got it. Maybe it doesn't look aggressive with this color, but for other colors, I definitely think so. I mean, holding this phone is honestly like holding like an iPhone. It just feels very premium, and it just feels like very, very dense inside. It doesn't feel cheap, like by any means. Another thing that I've grown to love are the cameras. Yes, the main camera is the same as before, but that Tensor G4 chip still improves image quality thanks to the upgraded image signal processor. But what is fully upgraded is the new ultrawide camera, 48 megapixels, which of course helps you get that extra bit of detail that you just simply did not have before. Video recording has been really good too from what I noticed, and the quality is top notch. And of course you do have the ability to record in HDR and even watch back HDR on this beautiful actual display. Now of course I'm going to cover a lot more of this beastly camera in my full review, so definitely stay tuned because it's got a lot of surprises. Now the thing that kind of confused me a little bit, actually it still does, is Google's integration with Gemini. It's kind of not really integrated all that well, if I'm being honest. So for example, if you press and hold the power button, you'll access Gemini. But Pixels also have this bar on the bottom of the home screen that you can't move around. You know what I mean, right? Like this bar. So if you go ahead and press the mic button on the bottom search bar, it brings up the older Google Assistant instead of the more newer and much better Gemini. It doesn't really make sense. I really do kind of hope and wish that Google kind of fixes it and kind of brings it up to date. And well, honestly, I just wish they kind of integrated Gemini more into their own kind of OS. Now, I did mention the display, and I am very impressed. Google did not hold back, that's for sure. It's now a 6.3-inch display that's capable of going up to 2,700 nits of brightness. In other words, it gets very bright, and it's a nice step up over the 2000 that the Pixel 8 had. I ended up binge watching a show last night on my Pixel 9, and I had no issues with it at all. I mean, it's a really, really good display. But of course, watching content is one thing. How are the speakers, Because, well, please don't be that person that watches movies out in public with their speakers on full blast. But if you're home alone and no one can hear you, I give you a pass. The speakers on this phone are really good. Now, okay, so I'm not really a big music listener on my phone when it comes to using the speaker, but I did test it out. I did play a few songs on maximum volume, and the sound, especially in the bass department, it does start to kind of distort at the maximum volume. But again, I'm not really sure how many people, how many of you are going to be listening to music on their phone on the speaker, full blast. Most likely you have earphones. But, when it comes to things like scrolling through TikTok, social media, binging your Amazon shows or Netflix shows, the speakers on this phone are more than fine. You won't have any issues at all. Another thing that I absolutely love are the haptics. Oh my god, I don't know what Google did, but the haptics on the Pixel 8, they were okay, they weren't bad, but it felt kind of empty inside with the haptics. But this phone, I guess thanks to the redesign, it just feels dense inside. It's really hard to explain. You guys really need to actually go to Best Buy or any electronics store that has this up for display. Just type out something and you'll feel exactly what I'm talking about. The haptics are really, really punchy. It's almost impossible to press a key on this phone and not notice that you pressed it. It really feels like someone on the in the phone is punching you as you're typing. I mean, not literally, but you know what I mean. The haptics are really good. I actually prefer the haptics on this over my very cracked iPhone. You see how cracked that is? That happened from one drop. Hey, Apple, didn't you say your displays were supposed to be very super duper crack resistant? Yeah, well, I don't believe it. Now, there is one thing that Google changed that I know you guys are going to love because a lot of you have been complaining about it, especially compared to the older Pixel models, but the fingerprint sensor, oh my God. It is super good. It's ultrasonic, so it uses sound waves to scan the ridges of your finger. It works crazy well, and it is ultra fast. This change is big because, well, it's not like the Pixel 8 was slow, but the accuracy wasn't really all there, especially if you're sweating and your hands were kind of not wet, just even moist. The fingerprint sensor would freak out. But on this phone, it's been working every single time. I mean, I'm even doing it right now. It works every single time, and it works super quick. You just tap the display. You don't need to hold down on it. You just boom, tap it, it unlocks. It's really good. You guys are definitely going to appreciate this new fingerprint sensor, especially if you were the ones that were complaining about the older generation optical fingerprint sensors from Google. Now, I did play around with Google's new kind of Pixel screenshot app, and it's pretty interesting. So how it works is whenever you take a screenshot, the on-device AI scans that screenshot. Then you can go ahead and open the Pixel Screenshots app, and in the search box, you can just type in whatever you're looking for, and it'll literally show you exactly that. And from my testing, it works very well. Now, I do wish Google kind of implemented the Pixel Screenshots into Google Photos because I feel like that would make a whole lot more sense. Like, why have an app dedicated to screenshots when those screenshots go into Google Photos anyway? You know, kind of a bit strange, but I really do hope they kind of merge the two together in the future, which I'm pretty sure they will because, again, I just don't see why they wouldn't. Now, one thing I found that saves a good bit of time is a new feature that's built into Gemini. So if you're on a YouTube video and you see that the video is just a little too long for you and all you want is a brief summary of it, well, when you're watching the video, you can activate Gemini and then you can just tap on search this video. Now, once you've tapped on it, you can just ask Gemini to summarize the video and it'll give you cliff notes so you can kind of quickly read and, read the interesting parts of it instead of watching like the full 20 minutes or whatever. Now, some of you have been asking me about the battery life on the Pixel 9, and well, it's still a little too early to tell. It's only been 3 days, and as you guys know, if you've ever used an Android phone before, it does take a little bit of time for the phone to kind of get familiar with how you use it, so that way it optimizes the battery life to suit your needs. And that usually happens around like 4 to 5 charges. So once you've put this phone through 4 to 5 charges, it's safe to say that by then the battery life and the OS has already gotten familiar with you. But so far, I mean, right now it's 5:19. My battery is at 71% and my screen on time is 1 hour and 33 minutes, which again, it may seem like it's draining quick, but as I've said, trust me, it will get better because I've owned many Android phones before and the first couple days are always not really great. Now, of course, I will update you guys the more I use the phone, so definitely stay tuned for my full review. I can't say there's really much that I don't like about this phone. Now, keep in mind, I bought this phone and I was like, well, I never really liked all the base model Pixels from before, but I am really surprised at how well this base model flagship Pixel is. Again, there's not really much that I don't like. By the way, it didn't even overheat. It was really hot outside today and I was using this phone. It did not overheat. It did not even get warm, and I don't even believe the screen dimmed. If it did, I didn't even notice it dimming. So I guess this new Google G4 chip is really efficient because past Pixels were not really good with heat management because of the Tensor chip. Yeah, this one seems to have solved the problem for now. Again, I'll keep you guys updated. So what do you guys want to know about the Pixel? Drop me your comments down below. I'll try to answer all of you. And then if I don't, I'll probably include your question in my full review. So again, yeah, stay tuned. If you guys did enjoy today's video, definitely click that like button. And if you're new here and you want to see a lot more Pixel content coming up, because I do have the Pixel 9 Pro XL right here. This thing is just a beast. So if you guys want to see videos on that, definitely subscribe. And that's it. This was Mark from Mark's Tech. Adios.